Okay, yeah. Hi everyone. In this session, we are going to discuss about uh, how e-commerce order processing system is works, and then how we can build that with the serverless architecture using AWS CDK. This is what we are going to discuss about in this session. So, what are the core features it has? What are the components it has? There is a API gateway, and then there is a lambda that will be the entry point. So API gateway, it will accept the orders, and then there is a lambda, it will create the records, okay, with the DynamoDB table. And then we have a DynamoDB table that store order details along with their status. And then we have a orchestrating function using step functions. So that will having the functionalities of payment processing and other rest of the flow as well. So that's also everything will be added in the step function. And then once the payment processing is done in each stage, it will update the status in DynamoDB table as well. And then finally, we will get the confirmation alerts from the SNS notification. This is the like the features and then components. Let's check the architecture diagram. Yeah. So this is the architecture diagram. So a user will hit the API gateway. Okay. So it will send an access flow like a request to order lambda. Order lambda, it will first create the order ID and record in the orders table. Okay. Once that is done, then it will invoke the AWS step functions workflow. In that step function workflow, it has payment lambda. So it will have the payment related functionalities and business logics. And then once that is done, then it will trigger the order status lambda. So that will actually update the order status. So order status, generally it will connect with the order lambda table that will update the status of the specific order. Once that is done, then the lambda will trigger SNS notification regarding the status of the specific order. Everything it will be triggered. And then all the lambda process and execution, everything we are monitoring using the logs, everything we are collecting using CloudWatch logs. So this is the overall architecture and then flow. Okay, now let's go to the implementation, how we can implement it with AWS CDK. So I hope you might aware of the AWS CDK. If you're not sure about, go and check the data ops channel. There is a separate separate playlist for AWS CDK. Okay, so AWS CDK is a cloud development kit. So we can write our cloud infrastructure as a code on our preferred languages. So, for example, if I'm good at Python, so I can write my cloud infrastructure code in my Python, using my Python SDK. Okay, so that is the advantages of using AWS CDK. And then AWS CDK, what are the prerequisites we need? So, yeah, I hope I can. If not, then fine. So this is the marker. So, what are the prerequisites we need? So, we need a Python 3.9 above versions. It should be installed in our system, and then AWS CLI, we need that. And then once the CLI we install, then we have to configure the AWS credentials, which is like access key, secret key, that everything we have to configure in our local system. And then we have to install AWS CDK CLI. Okay, using NPM packages, we have to install that. So once that is done, then we are actually creating the project CDK project, just creating the directory and then creating the Python CDK application. We are creating it. So maybe let's go to the check the code, okay, which is I already did that. Now let's go to the project structure and the implementation. So once we did that, this will be the boilerplate code we can see. Okay. So virtual environment space will be created that, and then there is a e-commerce CDK. This will have the main entry file, and then test folders would be there. And then there is a entry file of your CDK application. And then like the readme.txt files. Here we can install all the required packages, everything we can install that. So we can define it. So once define that, then we can set up the virtual environment. Okay. So once that is done, then we can install all the packages which is mentioned in the required.txt file. So which is this is the command pip install packages.txt, which is I already did that. So now let's get into the code implementation. Okay. So there is a file under the e-commerce CDK folder that we can see e-commerce CDK stack. So as per our architecture flow, we have a three lambda function, order lambda, payment lambda, and order status lambda. And then we need a API gateway and order stable and SNS. And then we need a CloudWatch logs. Like it's kind of enable we have to do it. Okay. So generally, CloudWatch logs by default it's enabled with lambdas. So I hope we don't want to explicitly mention. So here we are defining our order stable. Order stable it has the order ID is the partition key. Okay. So and then we are defining our SNS topic, and then I'm using a email subscription. So I'm providing my personal email, and then here we can see order lambda. So it will connect with DynamoDB, and then it will connect with the step functions. So when that is this is the entry order lambda is the entry point lambda. So first it create the record in our table, and then it will execute the step functions. Okay. And then the status it should be vending. Okay. So we are here, we are just providing the order stable read write access to grant the right access to like order lambda. Okay. So now order lambda can write the data into the order stable. Here we are defining the API gateway, and then we are adding the handler with our order lambda and the resources, what is the path and what is the method, that everything we are defining it. And then next lambda is the payment lambda. So the payment lambda, so it's just like a actual payment functionalities we can implement it. So for like a testing purpose, for demo purpose, I just write some random choice. So using the random package, it will return any of the values true or false. If it's true, then it's return success. If it's false, then like it will mention the status as failed. Okay. So it's kind of like a demo payment lambda. So we can implement our own custom lambda functionalities also here. And then we have a update lambda, status update lambda. So here it's connecting with the DynamoDB table, and then it's connecting the status, which is we are getting it from the payment lambda. So the orchestration we will check it in the step function step. So here we can see it's updating the status, getting the status from the event, and then it's updating the status. Okay. So we are providing the grant to update lambda. So next let's check the step functions workflow. So here we are creating the lambda invoke task. So it will invoke the payment lambda, and then the task it's in lambda invoke is for update lambda, and then the notify task. This is another task. It's SNS publish. Okay. The next will be task definition. So here we are first checking payment task. We are actually trying retry maximum 3 attempts. Maximum 3 attempts we are doing it. So and then once done, the next lambda, next task it will be triggered is update lambda task. And then once done that, it will trigger the notify task, the SNS, like a topic, it will be triggered. Okay. So this is the task definition. I'm creating the state missing here, and then defining the adding the definition over there. And then these are the environment variables which is needed for the lambda functions. And then I'm granting the like execution for order lambda. Okay, so yeah, these are the functionalities. Now let's execute it. Okay, so first we need to create the cloud formation template using CDK synthesize. So next step will be CDK deploy. Okay, it's installed. What are the resources going to deploy? So now giving the permissions. So it might take some time. So now let's go back to the documentation. So here we can see what are the packages we need, and then in a app file, if it's needed, we can edit that. So mostly this app file, app.py file is not necessary to edit. So it will take the accounts and the region details from our AWS configurations. And then like order py file, we are adding the resources that we discussed, like orders table, SNS topics, and orders lambda, what are the lambda we need, and API gateway and step functions. So yeah. So now let's see. Okay. So now it's written the API gateway URL. Let's copy it. Let's copy the another another documents. So now let's go and check the resources we deploy. So let's see. Okay, so there is a e-commerce CDK stack is created. So what are the resources? So we can see orders table, orders notifications, and orders lambda, orders API, payment lambda, and the update order status lambda, and the state business open. And then we supposed to receive some notification like a email subscription. So come forward. Yeah. So from now onwards, we will receive email notification from AWS. Then let's go and check the resources. So DynamoDB table, uh, there is no records. Yeah. So now let's execute the system, trigger the API gateway, and let's. So there is a test flow details as well, the documentations. So let's copy it. Let's update our API URL that. We have to update. Okay. So we are passing the product data is laptop and more 1500. So let's copy and let's trigger the API gateway. So here we can see order ID and then the status is processing. Okay. So as per the flow, first it will call the orders lambda. Orders lambda, it will update the orders table. So here we can see orders table. Let's refresh it. So yeah. So initially, first step it should be uh, status. It should be processing, but I think step functions also it should be executed. So let's open the step functions. Then we received a notification. So let's say, you know, SNS notification also executed. So this is the flow in SNS notification. So this is the payment lambda. It receives the as it receives the payload. These are the payload as input, order ID, laptop, amount, and what is the status, and then what it's generate. It's randomly generating some status, which is like a success or fail. So in the random choice, you choose fail, and then it's possible to invoke like a update status. So here it received the order ID and status, and then it's actually updating the status in DynamoDB. And then finally it update the send the status to SNS topicus. So yeah, this is how the flow is works. Now let's check one more execution. Supposed to receive some execution. Yeah, yeah. So another execution also trigger. Yes. So here we can see the mobile file. And here also we receive fail. And then we supposed to receive notifications. Yes, and here also there is a record we can see. And then there is a CloudWatch logs. Let's go and check the see order lambda. So order lambda connected with the API gateway. So here we can see monitor section. So there we can see the CloudWatch logs option. So here we can get the lamp like the logs details. When there is a issue it comes, so we can go and check this logs. So we can easily debug. Yeah. So yes, I hope we covered everything. So the land stuff. Yes. So yeah, that's it about this session. So we will discuss another use case in upcoming session. Yeah, thanks everyone. Thank you.